Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to to a Career Living Fellowship here at Religious San George here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm honored to be here and Reverend Jorge, staff minister here at Career Living Fellowship. And it's an honor for me to hold every Monday it's the space that we call Monday Practice. Normally, in Monday practice, it's an exploration to have some exploration in our Monday and our practice and spiritual practice. Sorry, I'm a little uh, disconnected because it's been a few Mondays where we took a break. So, yeah, bear with me. So, Monday practice is in a space where we explore different Monday practice, and I'm trying to connect that with the Sunday theme, Sunday talk, so that we can explore this experience and have a homework for the week that it help us to embrace and assimilate what is being teaching and what is being inspired on Sunday service. But this is the beginning of the year. This is our first Monday practice for 2024. So yeah, so we made it and we are here. Uh, so this is going to be a little different because I want to try something different for Monday practice in this month. So you know what happens in CLF right now is we start also with a new theme for the whole 2024, which is sustain the course. The best is yet to come, right? It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm grabbing from that theme for the year, and it also came to me that mostly we have a tradition in the West mostly to create our New Year's resolutions, and our New Year's resolutions is actually the way that we is, set intentions for ourselves, for our lives in general. So that's a way. So connecting it with the theme of CLF, the staying the course of the best is yet to come. Because what we also know by tradition is that most of the time the New Year's resolution is stayed as a New Year's resolution, and we don't do much with that. So the same thing happened with Monday if with spiritual practices. So we sometimes get overwhelmed by all the spiritual practice. Sometimes we think the spiritual practices are so big and get so they need a special space or a special situation to practice and that part. And sometimes we don't know what is also a spiritual practice. So that's going to be our work of this month and on this Monday practice to discover the spiritual practice for everyday life that match to yourself. So today we are not going to have any specific Monday practice. I'm going to introduce you, and hopefully, when you are watching this video online or if you're watching it afterwards on YouTube or Facebook, you are going to participate in the way I will tell you a little further how to participate so that we are going to enrich your conversation among the practice and so we can actually find that spiritual practice for your everyday life that is perfect for you, that match for you. So, but before I go in that way, I want to say hello to Reverend Sherry that is actually sending us hearts and many many hearts. Thank you, Ryan Sherry, for being here, and thank you for participating. You can participate as well by doing using the chat in YouTube or the comments on Facebook, and I can read you over here, and so we can have a conversation. So before that, as well, I was saying, I always ask for your support to create a living fellowship, and this support could be the first one is to give us a thumbs up, like us, subscribe to our channels, and leave a comment as I request already. But as well, we can actually you can participate by donating by give us your financial support. You can do it once using the text message, your cell phone and your text message. The number is showing up in the chat and in the comments as well. You can use that phone number, or you can use our PayPal a link that is in the same outlets, so you can actually go in there and use your credit card to use PayPal to use the transaction, and you send your support. Or finally, you can go to visit a website, donate, and do your donation there. I always recommend to go visit the website because you will find another, mostly many other ways that you can participate Greater 11 Fellowship. So as I was saying, back again to our idea that what's going to happen this month in the spiritual practice, in Monday practice is that we're going to find our spiritual practice for our everyday life, something that is more connected with you. This is based in a book that is called the Spiritual RX or Prescription to find the prescription for you living a mindful life. It's a wonderful book. It's actually related with that. So let's develop the idea a little. So let's start with first what is a spiritual practice. We've been doing Monday practice for many years, and we kind of always say we think that a spiritual practice. We think in mantras, yoga, meditation, prayer. But actually, there are plenty of more spiritual practice as well. And sometimes the spiritual practice are not necessarily have to be in a specific or an idea that is so sacred or with many things to do. It's more or less always in a spiritual practice. The core concept, the core idea of a spiritual practice, whatever it is actually strengthen your relationship with God. Simple like that. It's just to strengthen your relationship with God. Why? Because depends of the spiritual practice, like let's say prayer, is always to strengthen your relationship with God, to recognize that you are God, to things more than asking, more than demanding. It's just to recognize who you are and strengthen your relationship with that. So a spiritual practice entail many activities, as we said. So it's not necessary has to be a specific of activity or with a big background of spiritual knowledge like meditation, for example, of mantras that you have to take some classes, get your own mantra and start repeating and go into a mantra meditation that allow you to break the space for encountering God through the mantra. The same thing with the silent meditation is creating a space where you don't fight with your mind, you don't fight with your ideas. It's just to create a space where you can sense the presence of God with you, and and so on with all the practice in there. But that's the concept of spiritual practice to find that. So uh, one idea that I found today is actually uh, from this Jewish writer Aaron Davis is we are what we practice. So hear this wonderful idea. The idea is uh, that we are what we practice. So we think that spiritual practice, meditation, prayer, things like that. But as well, we are practicing other stuff. Like if we are constantly angry, or we are constantly worried, or we are constantly feeling happy, or constantly being feeling a little peace, is actually that's a practice as well. So we are in constant practice. So in although I personally I don't believe in negative positive and in this um, dichotomy of worlds of interpretation of perceptions. It's important to there are a certain energy, a frequency behind all of that. So a practice of anger or practice of worry probably is not a very it is a strong vibration for your life, and versus a vibration a little higher like love or joy or peace, it brings more that and allows you to have a better and more open and powerful relationship with God. So, so that's the idea behind of this month that we're going to do is to encounter our spiritual practice recipe or spiritual practice prescription. So this basis, as I said, is based in the book of Frederick Brassard and Marianne Brassard. It is true that we can actually observe of what we are practicing during the day, we're practicing during the way, and from that start matching the practice that will help us to break through that. So that's your mission if you want to take it today and to enjoy it or Monday practice and make it more active today is that please take a journal for yourself and start looking from today and the next days ahead and start checking yourself your what you are practicing. So not just I don't want to hear you joy and meditate 20 minutes. Think that's fabulous. I love that. But what you do in your everyday life. That's why we the practice for today is the spiritual practice for everyday life. Is that what you are doing? So if you are permanent in a sensation of worry and a permanent talking to yourself about worriness, about the world, about the world, about your health, about your body issues, about your the food that you have. If it's angry all the time, or feel sad, or feel anxious, all of that. That's perfect. There is nothing to criticize there. There is no guilt to be created. It's just to be aware of that. Observe. So this is the first practice, is the foundation to all spiritual practice. Observe, the practice, the practice of be a witness and observe, because basically God is the ultimate observer. So like the Buddhists say, like the Vedas say, like the many spiritual traditions in the West and non-dualism, always is the ultimate. God is the ultimate observer. So we are going to be the observers of ourselves, of our minds, and our personal speech. And I want you is right here. Return to this video in YouTube and Facebook. You're always going to find there at Clear Living Fellowship, and write your what is your major two or three uh, practice that you are doing so during the day, and that will be the symptoms, as Frederick mentioned in the spiritual art um, prescription, is to find the most repetitive and more state of being that we dwell in there, so that we can start to find the symptoms that we call that, so that we can actually find the and explore and find a spiritual practice. So depends of the or your participation, and depends how much common paths we found. So the next Sundays we're going to explore the practice that has the most, let's say, if it's angry, to be angry. So we're going to talk in a specific spiritual practice that support the breakthrough of the anger or the weariness or the sadness. Or if you say, no, I'm in peace mostly of the time, perfect, we can also find a spiritual practice that enhance that spiritual practice and opens the door and bring us to cross that a narrow gate into a more powerful, more close, and more beautiful expression of our relationship with God. So that's the idea of this month. That's what we're going to explore today on Monday Practice. I want to read you, all of you. I really want to know what's going on in your life and in your experience. Also, write about how you feel being the witness of your life, to be not just the co-creator of your life, but also the observer, the ultimate observer, and see how, with the eyes of God, your life, your expression of life. So that is for me today. It's been a little short, but I just want to introduce you for this month on that, and what is in spiritual practice, what is the core, and what we're going to do today. So we're going to hear you. I will be attentive to your comments. I will be and reading and checking your comments down the videos, and hopefully to read more and more about you, and so we can have this more interactive way. So thank you for today. This is Monday Practice, and I'm very excited to start a new year with a new different way to do to embrace this space among the practice. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and I see you later. Bye bye.